Hello, friends, and welcome to bispsolutions.com with my business partner Tricon Technology Group. My name is Amit, and today I'm going to show you an hands-on example of how do you perform driver-based revenue planning. This is part of Enterprise Planning and Budgeting Cloud Service Financial Module. So we start with log into our cloud instance, and if you haven't configured your financial module yet, please watch my previous video. I shown how to configure and define all the assumptions. So the financial module, you find revenue, and there you have got various options. You can do revenue planning based on driver, based on trends, or based on your direct input. So because we are going to do driver based planning, click on driver and trends. To start with this, we are going to put some sample data into our application, and then we can play around with this. So I already prepared a sample data. I'll show it to you. So it consists of dimension member and point of view. So we have data for various account dimension member, your period dimension, and finally your point of view. And finally define your cube name, right? So this is a sample data file you can find in your shared location as well. Concept point of view, uh, I can show you. Go to navigator and dimension, and there is a dimension called plan element which has got various members. So it differentiate based on data load, data calculate, and adjustments. So by default, when you load data, it goes to OFS load, and all adjustments are done under OFS adjustment. On post calculate, data available in OFS calculate. So data being loaded in OFS load, and post calculate, data goes to OFS calculate and adjustment. So let's load this data first. In order to load this data, you go to home page, to your application, and there is an overview. Select your cube, and then you can load data. Select your cube. I'm going to load data to the financial cube, and there's an option called action import data. Point your data file. So I already stored data file over here. You have option, you can load from your own system. Alternatively, you can use EPM automate utility to put data file into your server under inbox. Today I'm going to use from a local file. Point to your file. This is my data file, and you can validate and import. So validate and import creates one job respectively. Therefore, you can go back to job console and check there are two jobs would have created, validate and import. Now data available into your application. I loaded data for financial year FY17 for this intersection. So there are two tabs to this, or two data form. In one data form, you define various drivers, and second data form, based upon your driver values and input data, the calculation take place. So I show you with one sample examples. We start with what is some sample number. This calculate number I loaded, and you find we have volume and average selling price. So the actual calculation take place based on volume multiplied by average selling price, and other adjustments are being subtracted from here. So volume multiplied by average selling price, and then if you have some assumption or adjustments or increase and decrease will in turn apply to this. So let's see this example. So your data value of volume is 22830, and your average selling price is 449. You can actually apply calculate and make sure the logic you think is correct or not. 22830 multiplied by 449, it is 10250670. So all this calculation take place over here. So I can expand this calculated. This is quarterly. There is a separate note for quarter and month, and you see the product revenue is basically multiplication on average selling price multiply by your volume. Okay, so this is how you can change once data gets input. You can do projection of your product revenue by increase and decrease in terms of percentage, and in turn you can apply adjustments. So let me add 10%. You can type either 10% directly or 0.1. So this assumption will apply across all quarters. When you save, a business will execute behind the screen and this assumption is going to apply. So what do you see over here? Your all quarterly volume increment by 10% in this case. So the old value was 23. I've written over here 23830, an increment by 10%. Therefore, it turns out to be 25113. It is actually rounding off. Okay. So assumption in turn applied to this. Now the new value would be 25112 multiplied by 449. You see the value gets updated over here as well. Upon save, the calculation business will invoke and you get the new value over here, which is our 25112. In addition to increase and decrease of your assumption value, you can also apply adjustment. Right now it is 100,448. If I adjust for an individual quarter or for across all 4 quarters, I say in case volume is increased by 1%, it is a kind of what if analysis. In case volume increased by 1%, what would be your product revenue? If volume increased by 1%, the total volume would be, you see the difference between both of them is 1000, or 1000 gets added over here, and the newly created projected revenue available over here. Okay, so as planner input value, the projected revenue project revenue being calculated over here. In addition, this planner can directly apply adjustment under project revenue. So in case you want to adjust this, assume what if your product revenue increased by 1000 directly. So you type 1000 and when you save, the adjustment apply to this. Sometime a little slow in responding. So you see your quarterly plan for product revenue increment by 1. It is 50152 51152. This is how your planner continue to project product revenue or service revenue. In addition to this, there are certain other expenses can also be adjusted. So you see there are different types of trends. You have overweight, overhead, freight charges, and they are defined in terms of percentage. This data I loaded, and further to your product revenue, these value would be adjusted. For example, you take overhead percentage, which is 19.852. So which further apply to this. So 19.852 I expand for individual quarter, and this is what you see: 25112 multiplied by 449, and we need to find out 19.852 divided by 100 into 19.8521, 2238381. This should be the value over here, and it rounds out F. So I should have applied this field in all charges directly on my adjusted value. So you can check over here your total value 45551.152, and I can calculate 19.852 percentage. This is 45551.152. Sorry, 45551.152 divided by 100 into 19.8521. This is the percentage. So these values are being subtracted, 19.8521, and this is what the value I get. 9042. There's a difference. There may be some round off value, therefore there's some difference, but actually calculation take place this way. So finally you have total under driver based planning. You specify value for various drivers, you define trends or driver, and then based upon the input the calculation take place under driver based revenue planning. So that's it for today. In a subsequent example, I'll show you how to write business logic for the same calculation. Thank you. Should you have any question, please feel free to write to us.